What's up, everybody? This is Just Wayne, and welcome to the Just Wayne Show. I'm so excited to have a special episode because Drake just dropped an album that I haven't listened to the whole thing, and I was never going to listen to the whole thing because I didn't think there was anything really to be looking forward to. I figured if there was something amazing happening on it, the internet would tell me, and I would go listen to that thing. But Drake has been so consistent in who he is and what he does for so long. I just knew what we were looking forward to, which leads me to the main two beefs I actually have with Drake, because I know everyone's like, you're a Drake hater. And really my main two beefs is like Drake is stagnant, and the way he interacts with women is weird. And I think both of those things are encapsulated in the song that everyone's talking about, Gimme a Hug. And so on this episode, I want to walk through Gimme a Hug lyrically and talk about how it is actually the perfect personification of my issues with Drake. Let's go.
There is nothing that I wouldn't do.
For your attention, please. Can I have your attention, please? Everybody just look at me. Everybody just look at me.
Technically, this is a Party Next Door album featuring Drake called Some Sexy Songs for You, but let's be clear, it's a Drake album just being released on Sony. It's kind of like when the Spider-Man movies that are technically Marvel get released on Sony. That's what this is. And I think when we listen to, like, I've seen the reactions, I've seen people make reactions, and like when I'm listening to it, it's like this is 21 songs and people are consistently saying they're 3 goodish songs, which 3 out of 21 is a horrible batting average. But the one song people keep coming back to is Gimme a Hug, because they're saying, oh, he's talking that mess, he's rapping, he's got it. And so right from the beginning, I just want to point out, when I listened to the song Gimme a Hug, I was reminded of the reality that Drake is stagnant mentally. And that stagnation not only shows up in the music he's been making, which is the same types of albums, the same types of songs for so long, which is why I had no anticipation for this, but that stagnation mentally shows up in stagnation lyrically. Bro has been rapping about going into strip clubs and being friends with all the strippers since over. I know way too many people here right now that I didn't know last year. Not the first time I've been throwing hundreds when I'm supposed to be throwing ones. And now from there in 2010 to get to this place in 2025 and to be like, walking the strip club, like, I missed y'all, give me a hug. So that stagnation mentally has led to stagnation lyrically, and not just lyrical stagnation, but the exact same shun flow. Shun. You know, Drake elimination, fake intimidation, take a minute, take deep breath, a little bit of patience, like something inspiration. Like, it's such a consistent flow, and he's rapping off beat at the beginning of this. Now, 40, his producer, said that Drake actually doesn't have rhythm. He doesn't know where the beats are. He's like finding the pocket between the beats, which really means he doesn't really have great rhythm, which is fine. That he's been able to build a career out of it. R. Kelly can't read. All right, like, they've been able to build careers out of this, but the consistency of the flow, the consistency of the lyrical content is purely based in this idea that Drake has never evolved. He is stagnant mentally. And so, like I said, yeah, Drake elimination, fake intimidation, take a minute, take a deep breath, have a little patience. Drizzy, you amazing, you the inspiration, you set the bar for the next generation. And I'm sitting back like, did you? Did you set the bar? Because you sued. Like, you are trying to do a victory lap after you got beat. This is the equivalent of Patrick Mahomes, who played horrible in the Super Bowl, getting up in the sun going, yeah, you know, I still think I'm one of the best quarterbacks, still think I'm one of the best guys in the league, you know. Like, if he got up there and did that, it's like, bro, you just got outplayed by Jalen Hurts, the guy that everybody said isn't a good quarterback. The guy that everybody's like, oh, he doesn't really talk much, he doesn't really do much. The guy that, oh, he's got one move, the tush push. That guy went out there and beat the brakes off of you. Like, Patrick got up there and was like, this is my fault, and I take responsibility, and I need to be better. And had Drake just done that, we'd be in a different space. But no, he's trying to take a victory lap after getting beat. This isn't the time to be doing that. Like, you've definitely won in your career, and you deserve credit for that, but this is not the time to be trying to do this. You Neo in the Matrix, these niggas is just Nemo in the ocean, small fish, making kids feel emotion. What you mean by that, Drake? Sometimes I'm like, he might be the least self-aware person in hip-hop, and that's saying something because Kanye West exists. But Drake might be the least self-aware person in hip-hop to say they small fish making kids feel emotion, using you for promotion. Truer words have never been spoken. Like, bro, you was the one going drop, drop, drop. And now you're like, they're just using me for promotion. Bro, you started this. So it's also super interesting to use the whole, like, just making kids feel emotion, because the demarcation line that was drawn during this beef is grown people and the Drake fans that act like perpetual teenagers. What I found is that Drake fans, the Aubrey's Angels who hop into my comment section and act a fool, they are the most consistently teenage people I've ever seen. And I'm like, yeah, you know, Drake is my inspiration for how to deal with women. Really? And we're going to get to that. We're actually going to get to that in this next line. The only reason I ain't got a girl and I ain't getting married because I'm really out here filling up the itinerary till I'm 6 feet in the cemetery. Now, did you know that Drake has a necklace with 42 diamonds in it that represent every time, as he says it, I was going to propose? Now, certified lover boy, sure, but 42 times you wanted to propose? And also, why was it that none of those 42 could actually turn into a proposal, a marriage? Why are women so averse to being around you? Why don't they actually want to be identified with you as in a relationship? Why do they try to distance themselves so heavily? Why do they end up in happy relationships after you? And why can't you stop talking about the women who are in happy relationships after you? And so when guys are like, hey, what could Kendrick tell me about being with a woman? Drake's been with all kinds of women. Drake is consistently talking about strippers. I wonder how many of those 42 were strippers. And I've been in a strip club once. And what I realized really quickly is that there are guys who literally go there and pretend like those strippers are in love with them. And it sounds like, according to Drake's own music, that he's one of them guys who doesn't understand. He's one of those guys. Doesn't understand that them strippers don't love you. They're making money off of you. And so you've got the necklace showing that he's got this consistency of wanting to marry people, but no one ever marries him. So then the flip and be like, nah, I'm just filling up the itinerary. Which, by the way, shout out to my boy James Francis, who pointed out that there's a song by Young Thug and Drake called Oh You Went, where Drake uses literally the next set of lines verbatim.
Sis guy here, baby. I appreciate the fans rocking with me. This is really just a small token. Really fucking with a visionary. Only reason I ain't got a girl and I ain't getting married, cause I'm really out here filling up the itinerary till I'm 6 feet in the cemetery. Bulletproof doors so heavy, got me rolling around.
In that song from 2 years ago, right? Talking about bulletproof doors so heavy that we'd rolling like a dignitary. Like that whole rhyme scheme, he uses it in a completely different song from just 2 years ago. He's copying and pasting his own lyrics. That's how lazy this approach is, because he's stagnant mentally and therefore has become stagnant lyrically, right? We're talking about how only, there's only one type of guys who want to see your boys an obituary, because if I die, these niggas will have to become the sole beneficiary. And then what they gonna do with it? Head of girls up at 29 on stage twerking with the dictionary. Guilt trips, not Turk trips when it's cold out here in February. This part of the song is actually super revealing for me, because for me, it reveals what Drake believes about himself and why he thinks he exists in music. He thinks he exists in music to make the bops for the bees. Like he thinks that like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be making the music the girls can twerk to. But if I go away, then y'all gonna be stuck with who? Kendrick? And then they're gonna be up there in the strip club twerking with the dictionary. So on the one hand, he's like, I exist for the sake of making that type of music. And if I wasn't here, they would be stuck with somebody who would make them think about the lyrical content of the things that they're doing. Like it's really weird self-own when you think about it. And part of the problem is Drake fans were out here, like academics was like, if Drake just goes away, then people are gonna need their bops. Like without Drake, who's gonna have bops for the summer? And so we just need him. He's the only one who's making the music that the girls can shake their tails to. Which, just side note, this is one of the weird things about Drake fans. Drake fans assume that the only music that a person can listen to is one artist. So I saw somebody was like, yeah, Drake should be making stuff that people can, dance to and all that. And just stay over there with that boom, bop, beam, bop, boom, bop, bam. Stay over there with your Kendrick. And I'm like, you think I just listened to Kendrick? I was listening to Beyonce. Heck, the other day, me and the kids were in the car on the way to school and we pick a theme. Our theme was recession pop. We were listening to songs from 2009, 2010, 2011, right? We're listening to Baby, Are You Down, 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 Down. I listen to Janet. I listen to Michael. I listen to Sade. Like, a lot of us are listening to a lot of different music, and y'all think the only music that you could possibly get can be from this one guy is weird to me. So Drake is hyped by his fans that he is the only one who could come out and make the type of music that the girls can love. It's like they dropping things, but I'm dropping harder things. Stop the cap. I really wish that Drake fans would stop pretending like Drake didn't make any music after the beef. He made a lot of songs that didn't chart because they weren't good. And they're going to hype this album up like it's good. And everything I'm hearing across the board is that it's not. That only 3 of the 21 songs are good. 21. Can you do something for me? 21. It's F a rap beef. I'm just trying to get the party lit. Just trying to get the party lit for the bees. I'm not going to call them that word. And so he's saying, I'm not even worried about no rap beef anymore, even though I've been referencing it in the lyrics beforehand. I'm just trying to get the party lit for the girls. I just want to throw out there that black women stopped messing with Drake a long time ago. A long time ago. Black women got off the Drake train before anybody else. So then when all this happened, black women were sitting back being like, yeah, we told y'all that in 2018. Like, of course this is what's happening. Because of the consistency of the way that he has interacted with women. Which is my second beef with Drake, and something that pops up in the song. Is the way that Drake moves when it comes to women is weird. It's weird. And there's countless examples of how he has become a groupie and a Klingon and a hanger-on and has to constantly shout out the women, like I said a few minutes ago, who are now in really happy relationships, doing amazing things with their new families, and he's got to find ways to shout them out. Even in this song, he couldn't just take a shot at Joe Budden. He had to bring in Melissa Ford, who works on the Joe Budden podcast, to be like, you a legend in the 6. I hate that you work for a D-sucker. Like, and Joe Budden responded ahead of time because Joe Budden was posted on Drake's Finsta account. And Joe Budden was like, don't take shots at me now that you're a corpse. I would have gone back and forth with you when you was hot. But like, I'm not finna go back and forth with you when nobody cares. Because no one does. Like, what we're watching right now is an album by a guy who's fallen off hard. And this wasn't enough. It's not enough. But it's not enough. And so here it is, utilizing women as a means to beef with a man is Drake's MO. Whether it's Melissa Ford talking about Joe Budden, whether it was the fact that he had more smoke and more lyrics and bars for Whitney than he did Kendrick, whether it was the shouting out Serena and saying, side by your husband's a groupie, whether it was the shots at ASAP, but really taking shots at Rihanna, right? Like, we could go down the line. Bro is always utilizing women in order to get his point across. And so that's why black women have stopped messing with him a long time ago. So when he says, I'm just trying to get the party lit, I'm just trying to make songs for the bees, like, they're not even really messing with you. The only ones who are messing with you are the ones who get paid to. Which leads us to the next thing, right? Them Nike tights is hugging that A like they missed it. What's up? Walk in the strip club like, dang, I missed you hoes. Give me a hug. Give me a hug. Something I said a long time ago is that Drake is the embodiment of where my hug at energy. And so when I was listening to this song and I got to this part of the song, I was like, did he really just walk into a strip club and be like, where my hug at, guys? Come on, where my hug at? You know you love me. And then just out here throwing hundreds when he should be throwing ones. Like, he actually has such consistent beef for hardworking women and for women who are in healthy relationships. He's always tearing them down and calling them out in weird ways. But then he goes to the strip club and is like, you family, you're one of us. Give me a hug, girl. I love you. I missed y'all. Like, imagine being the walking embodiment of where my hug at energy and then making a song where the hook is, give me a hug, stripper. That's what Drake has done here. And so I don't really plan on listening to the whole rest of the album. I'm going to keep it a stack with y'all. Like I said, if people say, hey, that song is hitting, I might check it out. But my beef with Drake is that he refuses to grow up. Like, and when we talk about the Kendrick versus Drake thing, one of the things I've talked about a ton is that we've watched Kendrick's growth and elevation, maturation through his albums. Which is why when we get to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, it is a hard album to listen to. But he's talking explicitly about what it looks like to be a man and have to confront your own demons to become better for your family. And Drake is immune to this type of growth. As a matter of fact, he says, I'll never settle down. I will be out here filling the itinerary till I'm 6 feet in the cemetery. Drake is committed to never growing up. And the reality is, if you are maturing as an adult, this makes less sense to you. If I was 20, I'd be like, yeah. But even then, be like, after the beef, I don't know if you should be saying some of these things, my boy. Right? When rappers refuse to mature, it puts them in position where eventually the relevancy that they're seeking will make them look old. And Drake is real close to looking old. Continuing to try to live in some fantasy world where he's just perpetually in strip clubs as if bro is not about to turn 40 next October. It's time to grow up, Drake, and it's time to grow up, Drake fans, and recognize that life is more than believing that the strippers that are dancing on you are in love with you, because they're not. Life is more than that. You have the opportunity right here, right now, to grow up, to take care of yourself, to take care of your family, and to be better. That's what manhood is. And Drake is the boy, never exhibiting or exemplifying what it looks like to be a man. Thanks for coming to my Wayne Talk. This was a special edition of the Just Wayne Show. I'm here every Monday and Thursday talking about whatever's happening in the world. And so please take a second to subscribe, share this with as many people as possible. We just had to get something out about this new Drake album. And after this, I'll just go back to our regularly scheduled programming. If you haven't yet, check out my last episode about the old Kanye versus the new Kanye, talking about how he actually has never changed. And I can't wait to talk to y'all again on Monday. Love y'all. Thanks for coming to my Wayne Talk. Peace.